5, 4, 3.
Woohoo! Yeah! Welcome, everybody, and pull up a seat at the table. It's Lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 300
In a row.
is titled 300 Episodes. Where were we when we started this whole thing? What has changed? What are our favorite memories? We'll be taking a look at all of that at the table this evening. So pull up a seat at the table and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later on YouTube at Lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com, and while there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Yes, you. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it'd be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Come on, 300 episodes. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
At the table, we strive to love one another and help you to do the same, and sure hope we've done that. Some weeks we will have someone join us. We're not. And other weeks, like this one, we dive into a topic. In a way, we're not. We're just reviewing all the great things that have happened over these 300 years, whatever. Oh. Romans 12:15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. That is exactly what we do and what we're doing this evening. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome.
300. The 300.
Yes, 300.
Yes.
Yes, 300. All right, drink, everybody. Every time somebody says 300.
Oh, Eric, can you get me some water?
No,
I got a buzzing in my ear.
it's been 3. I don't hear it, but no, it's been 300 times. I think you can bring your own. Bring your own, buddy.
Are we doing updates?
Go.
It's just whatever we want. I'll start. I'm tired. It's been a busy week and a half. Well, we were off last week, and it wasn't because I forget why it was, but it wasn't because I was sick. But I am now. I was sick. I'm glad we didn't have pod last Wednesday because that would have been.
We say we were at the table. We don't use the term pod.
I've never heard that before.
You been here before?
Nah.
Not an OG.
I'm now getting over my first. I don't know if it was allergies or first cold of the season or whatever, but
As bad as you sounded in conversation Sunday morning, it did not translate to your singing voice.
isn't that something? I know. I appreciate that. I was worried about would I be able to sing?
Probably just in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Actually, it was all in my head.
Hey-o.
Yeah, it was. My head has been full, and it's not totally empty yet, but of snot. But it's a lot better, and so I'm feeling better. But I've been doing that for the past week and a half, and now Amy's dad, as some of you know, is back in the hospital, and so we've been driving over the river during rush hour every day after school to be with him. And
Fun.
Yeah.
Is he at St. Margaret's?
Yes.
Oh, that's great, because that's nowhere near where either of you work.
Right. It is near.
Which one is that?
It's Aspinwall. Yeah.
Waterworks.
Mm-hmm.
And we like it there. It's smaller than UPMC East in Monroeville, for example. So that's great. The problem is he doesn't always agree that that's where he is, even though he hasn't moved. So we're dealing with some things, and he's dealing with some things, and it's...
And life isn't easy anyhow.
Right.
And
it's
then
busy
you add
anyway.
this.
Yeah.
The phrase we've used for Jan all these years. It's just a lot on top of too much.
Right. So...
But you're navigating it.
Yes. Yeah, that is... I don't feel like Amy is weighed down. Obviously, it's her dad, and she's sort of taking on... she takes a lot on her shoulders, small though they may be. And... I'm just, there to support and along for the ride and everything. But yeah, I feel like we're navigating it pretty well. So that's thankfully not an issue.
How do you rate that? How do you rate navigating it pretty well?
You mean like on a scale?
No, I mean, what does that mean?
How could you be doing worse?
How do you know you're navigating it well?
Oh, I say that because I think that we, like she and I, are like sometimes when those big things happen, it can tear you apart, or it can make friction between you, like, or just your daily interactions become. Oh, now
about, like,
there's
you
something
and-
else
you
to
and
deal
Amy,
with.
your
Yes,
spouse,
because
okay.
we're getting mentally frayed, and so like then it starts compounding the problem. But I don't feel like
Well,
it's compounding anything, So I think we're handling it well.
I would say maybe over the past 7 years, you've learned something on this podcast to help you navigate awkward waters in times like this.
That one could
Maybe
say
we'll
that.
talk about that later.
Yeah, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I celebrate the fact that you feel you are handling it well and that this isn't dividing you and Amy, at least as far as you could tell.
You never know, though.
Let me call her and
Collateral
see what she
damage
says.
down
Though.
the
You get
Yeah.
on later
Yeah.
tonight, and this whole
Something, but,
podcast
yeah.
changes. Let me
We
tell
don't
you.
communicate, so it's hard to tell what she's thinking.
That's not good.
That's funny.
For me, I have two quick updates. One of which is that Young Life and my my life in general, it's very busy, but there's been some good developments in Young Life lately that are exciting because my team of 4, Joe, Julia, Christina, Julian, we're doing a great job of what we call contact work, going to the school, going to events, going to sporting events.
What a great little team, by the way.
Actually, it's a pretty big team. It's pretty great. It's
What
the
a
biggest
great
team I've ever had.
like
I mean, Joe's 6'2".
Yeah.
what an awesome
Julian, pro
collection
wrestler.
of young people, young
that
adults,
is-
and
that
all
is
that.
really-
That's really nice.
And I was frustrated that they're doing a great job going to the school and going to events, but we're not doing anything with any kids. And so one night at leadership, I just prayed and I said, look, let's pray that in the next 2 weeks, each of us would spend some one-on-one time with a kid outside of their event or whatever. And the very next day, a girl didn't know that they had a volleyball match that night. And it was one of the girls that Christina said she felt closest to. And she's like, I don't even have my uniform. I have no way to get home. And I was like, and Christina was like, I don't know. That makes me nervous. And I was like,
What, driving another girl home?
yeah, like, oh, yes. It just made her nervous. Like,
All right.
I mean, she's used to like helping out at like a PTA level that you shouldn't be alone with kids. I'm like, no,
Sure.
that's what we do. You know,
we get alone with kids. That's our slogan.
I would encourage you not to say that to her and in the way that you just said it. But she did, and within 20 minutes, she texted me all this stuff that the girl had opened up to her about that, we talk about earning the right to be heard. Yeah, we showed up for her events, but it was just showing how much this girl has needed someone to talk to. And even as we speak right now, she and her boyfriend are hanging out with Christina and Julian, and they're at the Woodland Hills, Penn Hills soccer game. And last night we were at a volleyball match where there were maybe 5 kids who weren't part of volleyball there. And yet I was talking to arguably the best player on the football team and just hanging out with him. And then at the end, 2 people asked for a ride home. And I was like, hey, Christina and Julian, you want to give them a ride home? And they were like, sure. And then another kid came up and he's like, can you give me a ride home? And I'm like, I can do you one better. Hey, Joe, why don't you give him a ride home? Partially because I wanted Joe to build his relationship with this kid, and partially because he lives so far away. Like, Joe's like, it's the middle of nowhere, Penn Hills. And I said, nah, you go past the middle of nowhere to the far edges of nowhere, like Mount Carmel area, for those Penn Hills.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
You're about halfway there at that point.
Yeah, that's Narnia.
And then you go down the street and you're like, well, I'm being ambushed. Somebody's killing me. Turn off the paved road to the I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's all good. The other thing that's good is yesterday in this very seat, I got to speak to a data research marketing firm for the grocery industry, to their women's breakout group that meets monthly on different issues. And they had me speak about the book and resiliency and resilience in the face of adversity, which was a stressful time for me because they're not a Christian audience. Their theme is breast cancer awareness, which I don't have much to talk about other than, yeah, that's adversity. And I went through adversity.
And you're adjacent to cancer.
Yes. Yes. Well, directly.
Cancer adjacent.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, and the last prompt was if I could potentially speak to a personal experience that would resonate with women's health. So it was delightful going in. And yet, it was an amazing time, and the feedback, like she thanked me immediately afterwards and said how great it was And then later on last night, she emailed me and said, the feedback has been overwhelming. Here's some additional questions. And so I just felt so good about it, and I was encouraged by it. And as I went to bed last night, Eric, I thought, because Eric, of course, helped facilitate the whole thing, the one area I could have done a much better job. Do you know what it is?
No.
I love that he dug deep. He's like, no, Jay, it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I really didn't promote the book enough. At the very end, I could have said, a lot of things we talked about are all in the book. And if you ever felt awkward at a funeral, there's a step-by-step guide as to how to handle yourself. And so,
Yeah.
well, all we did was
I agree.
plug the book at the end.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I'm sure all of them were like, oh, here comes he's going to plug the book. And I didn't. Now, I did notice I did have one sale yesterday online.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's $5 in my pocket. So it was just great. It's been fun. It's been busy. And I'm excited to be here tonight.
That's a really cool event. No, just to hear.
It was wild.
I had no idea. I've been dealing with my other stuff, so
Yeah.
that's.
I mean,
feel
Eric
bad,
was
but-
there. It was,
It was
good.
great. It was the feedback, the
Engagement.
engagement was really good. People, like Jay said, like people asking questions and stuff, and the feedback that the lady that was hosting the event gave you was great.
The one woman that gave feedback, and I watched it last night, like blown up on my full screen because
Yeah.
like she sent me the link, and it's this woman from England, Ireland, Australia, whatever, and she's just got the greatest accent, and she had the most powerful question about the loss of your mother and people checking in, and so I'm rewatching it, and then the second lady asked the question with like the worst lighting in the world, like there was a light bulb behind her hair,
Yeah.
and it was like ha. and I mean, it was small on this screen. I watched it last night, and I was like, ah, and I just turned it off. So even that, it made me laugh.
How do you connect with your audience in that setting?
It was very difficult.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
hard to read.
so difficult for me to do a 30 to 40 minute talk where, they said it would be between 1 and 300 people. There's no way of knowing how many it was because the squares eventually just
Yeah,
kind of,
Yeah.
but it was just, I don't know is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
I tried to pace myself. They said what did she say? I spoke with such an, not relatable, but just with an integrity that resonated well with everybody. And then the one
Authenticity.
authenticity. She said, it's a very important topic that nobody likes to talk about. And I'm like, that's kind of what I do. So how do you, it was difficult is the answer to your question to speak to nobody and yet know that there's 1 to 200 people there.
Yeah.
So you didn't have like a video feed, and people were.
I did, but it was teeny tiny squares
Yeah.
and most had their pictures off.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I asked because I spoke at a conference in
Yeah,
Vegas.
you
I
did.
wasn't here 2 weeks ago.
Your first true love.
Yeah,
According to
my
Julia.
wa-
One
yeah.
true love.
The International Bottled Water Association. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I think we said it on air. So it's
Okay.
fine.
Well, that's what I did 2 weeks ago. And it was pretty crazy because I was just, a lot of people speak in Vegas all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. But then again, it
You don't.
doesn't happen a lot for me at all,
Right.
ever. Probably won't ever happen again. I don't know. But it was cool. It was a good experience. I pretty much had to be on for an hour of the entire time I was there. And then I was able to be by the pool.
Oh, you had to be on for an hour.
Just on for an hour, like
How-
on, like physically, like, hey, I really need to pay attention to something.
Right. But your presentation.
My presentation was an hour.
Wow.
But it ended up, I ended up doing like almost kind of what sounds like you did, 30, 40 minutes, and then opened up for questions, which was really the better part. I have not yet perfected, or I'm not at the place where I like to speak necessarily and monologue, and give a presentation or anything like that in front of people. I'm a much more conversationalist, and I feel like things go a lot better when we're talking. So I got to that as soon as I could, and we had good conversations. But yeah, I mean, for the entire trip, I really only had to be, because there's been work trips that I go on and I'm pretty much on all the time. It's demanding, and so this time it was like, yeah, I got this hour and bang this out and then be by the pool.
Did you get into the origins of water, the way when Dwight took over the branch in the office, he started a lecture on like how paper was made.
Different. I didn't get that far. No,
Yeah.
most people there know that kind of stuff. So
There's H2O. There's two H. Yeah.
no, I didn't get that elemental, Chris.
But delivery is the soil.
So that's been cool.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there a couple times, and I think that this time was actually pretty delightful. It's strange because it has a certain energy. Vegas has a certain energy to it, and certain noise and a certain din.
Hum.
Yeah, hum, and
It's a different noise than New York.
it's a different hum for sure.
Yeah.
But leaving, it hit me when I got home, I think, or on the plane, or maybe even while I was there, and it was like I don't feel like it's loud. Like it was definitely different this time than the other times. Wasn't as busy, which is definitely something that people have commented on.
Oh, I've seen a lot of that.
I've seen that. So you feel like that's true?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a hotel on the Strip, so like we did have we went out for dinner and we went to a steakhouse at Caesar's Palace, which is just this opulent casino hotel experience.
No.
So the one I stayed at was off the Strip. It was still a really nice hotel, but it was off the Strip.
Nice Motel 6.
Yeah, right. Yep. But it was there were two conferences going on at this hotel, and you really couldn't tell.
Two water conferences?
Well, one was a packaged the packaged industry, like the packaging industry,
Packaging the
FedEx
water.
and just anybody that does packaging, assembly lines, water,
Cups.
cups, packages.
Bladders.
So yeah, that's it was a good trip.
Well, I celebrate that you are not inherently a presenter. And if you say it's outside your comfort zone, well, then it's outside of your comfort zone. That it was not only not bad, but it was good. And that the overall trip was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I would do it again. Yeah, and it's not that it's outside. Speaking's outside my comfort zone. It's just there's things that I'm really good at, and then there's things I'm like, I got by on that one. And public speaking, like in that setting, it was kind of like I give myself a C, but. And life is just, I feel like towards the as we come to the end of this year, I'm along for the ride, and we'll see what happens. There could be big things that happen. There could be things that don't happen. I could be completely unpredictable.
Could all be over.
Could all be over.
Figuratively.
Still have my pool open. I think I'm going to close that on Sunday or Monday, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. We have just been going through it. Like not bad, but like, softball multiple nights a week.
Plugging and chugging through.
Just, yeah, really. But
She's still
having
loving
a
it.
good time. Yeah, man. She got the game ball last night. She up at bat 4 times, got on base 4 times, scored the game-winning run. Yeah, just
You know what
she's
you're going to end
loving
up having to do?
it. What?
You're going to have to get her into travel ball.
Yeah, you should travel.
We're not talking about that yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
you should travel.
I don't want to do that yet, or maybe ever.
It's coming.
I know. But I have been working on my disc golf game, and Jay and I went to play Deer Lakes on Sunday, and I know it doesn't sound impressive, but I was plus 13 at Deer Lakes, and it's the first time since we've played like a large course together since this golf trip, and first time I've played since I started throwing the way I'm throwing. I'm throwing majority backhand, where previously I've been more of a forehand player. And I scored plus 13, which is my best recorded score at Deer Lakes. I tied my best score, which I thought was really cool because I've completely changed the way I throw. So I was very encouraged by that, which is because like one of my goals is to get better at disc golf. So it's very fun to have that happening.
It's very nice to see that tangibly because there's things you're like, I want to do this, and you can't really quantify it. You can't really
Right.
measure it.
Oh.
That's a measurable thing.
Most of my life.
That's great. What? Well, you
Not
can't
measurable.
measure.
Like, how am I doing as a pastor? I don't know. Am I doing a young life guy? I don't know. It's something. It feels
Yeah.
good.
So yeah. No,
But wait, can I say something about your disc golf game?
yeah. Horrible.
The irony is
I thought you looked like crap.
What you're doing best right now
Yeah.
is putting.
Yeah.
And you haven't inherently been working.
No.
He's just draining putts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was great. And I'm very excited. And yeah, I'm kind of tired. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
No, please do.
And 7 years ago, I don't even think Maggie was just coming around. Why do I say 7
She
years?
was,
Well, Jay, I'll tell you right after the break.
Well, I would be so excited to announce on our 300th episode that we have our very first sponsor.
We do.
No, I'd like to say that, but I can't. We don't. But we do have people sitting at the head of the table. And 7 years ago, we did not. 300 episodes ago, we didn't even have a table. 300 episodes ago.
We had like a tray or something.
I believe
like
it was a
TV table
drum-
or something.
Wasn't
Oh,
it
the
a
drum pad.
a drum
Yeah.
seat or drum pad? Yes, exactly. But we're grateful for Groot, Larianne, Bethany Jaworski, Marilyn, and Big Guy, Ashley, and Breaking 90 for sitting at the head of the table by going to lunchtimeinrome.com, becoming a paid subscriber, and getting the recognition that they so well deserve. And I do want to point out the Big Guy has already commented, and he said that he loves us. And he said he may not always be with Mary Lynn at the head of the table, but happy to enjoy the scraps that fall from the table. The ones that she lets him have. And so, we're grateful for that.
That's sad and poetic and beautiful.
And funny.
Yeah, and funny.
Patton asked a question. He said, how emotionally healthy and emotionally educated do you think that the 300 Spartans were?
What's funny is I made an image because it was episode 300, and I was like, Lunchtime in Rome, Spartans,
Yeah.
300. So I made an image, which is the preview image.
I
Oh,
think
nice.
that
That
they
should've
were
come.
not healthy, that they were bred for war, and they were not healthy at all.
Good answer.
I would agree wholeheartedly with that, and nor would you want them to be.
Not if that's their role.
What was it? Something about like the fighter pilots in World War II, like something like 75% were alcoholics.
I mean, you got to be dead inside, and you can't have a high sense of empathy if you're going to do certain things in this world, which I can't relate to at all.
Oh, the water industry is big time that way.
Yeah, you got to be completely detached in that water industry. It's no holds barred out there, man.
And also, Patton said this is lunchtime in Sparta.
Ah.
And we're at war with facts, logic, and reason, with critical thinking, responding, stealing the story, and ignoring people's emotional needs. This podcast started 300 episodes, well, in essence, maybe 299 episodes ago. And this would be 300.
Sure.
And I listened to the first few minutes of our very first podcast.
Oh,
A little
gosh.
little snowball mic in the
And,
center.
and that's about all you got through?
It was not an easy listen.
No.
It was rough. And not just the audio, but the audio was rough.
Yeah.
And it was a nice contrast to where we are now. And so I wanted tonight we had a couple different ideas. Mary Lynn actually proposed a pretty good idea that just wouldn't inherently, we couldn't flush it out and work out the details. So maybe we'll hold that off for 400 or 500. We're not sure. But we want to look back then versus now. And so just in general, forgetting emotional needs and all that stuff, where were we? And don't say we were upstairs because we all know that. But where were you guys? 2018, November, what is it, 15th, was our first time at the table. Where were you then, life-wise?
Surviving.
In what regard?
Because that was the year Maggie was born. Maggie was born in August. So we were like...
We started the podcast 2 months after Maggie
yeah.
was born.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember
It's
the
crazy.
because we would be too
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Maggie. Yeah. We were in like that. So what? August.
Now, you prayed for that, though.
We did very much. What, September, October, November? So yeah, 3 months in. 2.5 months in.
And you had just recently moved into this house too.
We moved into this house. The first night we slept in this house was August 6th, my birthday of 2018.
Well, you hit the ground running that year.
We met about this podcast in this basement, which is
remember
kind of
that.
funny because like we used to meet upstairs.
Do you remember what we ate? Tasty and healthy.
Yep. Yep.
Still don't care for
Falafel.
that place.
Well, I love their falafel.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, is it not there?
No, yeah, it's there.
I thought.
They've been a little closed lately, but they're not closed.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's where we were. I mean, if like looking back, I can't believe I was like, yeah, let's do this now. Right after we had our first baby.
You were younger then.
We all were,
We
really.
all were.
That's a true statement.
Well, and it's wild to think of how young your kids were. You know,
Me.
Anybody here? Like, I mean, because what Ben would have been
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Joe.
Same as Joe.
Bella would have been 13.
You know, Ethan was what, 12?
11.
11 or 12, yeah.
Abby was 8.
Like that's wild.
Yep.
Like Abby was
Abby was 7. Sorry.
Maggie's age that she is right now.
Ah.
Like it's kind of mind-boggling to me like of like how much time has passed. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Do you know where I was not 7 years ago?
Here at the table.
I was not.
How far along did you work your way in as the 5th Power Ranger?
You guys may have noticed 5th.
4?
Well, there's Jesus.
Oh, I see. For Power Rangers, there maybe it was the 5th. Yeah.
You're the Pink Ranger though. For
Joe likes to call me the pink Power Ranger. Yeah.
That was my point.
You guys may have noticed me counting something
Ah,
right
that's
before
what
we
you're
went.
counting.
Because that's when you said, I'm counting.
Yes.
I didn't notice.
So you might have noticed that. And I was counting episodes because they aren't numbered. At least on my podcast app, they're not like I wish I could just say, oh, I started on episode number da 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 da. But I had to count manually. And I forgot the exact number. It's between then and now. But it's 50 something.
Yeah.
And maybe 56.
I blame Apple on that one.
But yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But the date was January 8th, 2020.
You didn't come along till January of 2020.
You caused COVID.
I don't think you're right. I think it's wrong.
Because
January 8th, 2020.
That was the thing that they put the universe over the edge is you joining
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
You were the one that released the bat in the wet market.
Well,
At that same time. Like I put this bat in the mail that night
Yeah.
on my way over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
just on a whim,
Yeah.
whimsically.
So yeah, I wasn't with you guys on November 15th, 2018.
Yeah, but you existed and
Yeah, you
we
did.
knew you.
You were
Right.
around.
No, I was
alive.
around.
Yeah.
I was probably like standing outside the window watching you guys.
Yeah.
We were
Very
like,
creepy.
we need a drop machine. Who's that going to be?
It really does track.
Chris
though.
would make a good drop machine.
Our intro to Chris Davidson that night was Chris Davidson will be joining us for the podcast tonight at the table. Who is Chris Davidson, you ask? Just imagine Chuck Norris, John Mayer, the world's most interesting man, and Chris Tomlin all wrapped in one.
That's
Wow.
great. That's great.
Now, did you come back the next week?
I don't know if it was the very next week or maybe like a few weeks later that I started back like full time. I've been on like 4 episodes since then. So
Because you miss a lot.
that's a joke because I miss a lot. Yeah. Not lately.
Who misses more? That would be the question. We all know who is the 5th most person
Yes.
on.
That would be young Joseph.
He would tell you that.
Yeah.
Probably me.
It's between you two, obviously.
Yeah.
I've missed, I think, 2.
You miss sometimes for business, Brian. I miss for
you
help.
missed.
I think I've missed one
I think you missed 1.
because I think Ben ran.
I think Jay also has missed 1. Haven't we been? Oh, 2?
I missed when Abby was on, and I think I missed 1 more when Bella was on.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I've only missed like one.
I had just started a different job. I'd been at the water company.
Is that when it
for-
was?
Yeah. Well, I hadn't just. It had been June of that year, but it was June of 2018. So, yeah, I had pretty much just started working from home. I mean, I'd been working from home for a couple months, and yeah, Abby was 7 and Ethan was 11.
You had your Red Devil calls.
Oh, I forgot about the Red Devil
Red
calls.
calls. I had the black Saturn. I don't think I'd given that to Joe yet.
Nah, God rest its soul. We've gone through the black and now the white Saturn.
Yep. Little yin and yang to that.
He's tough on cars.
Wow.
But he keeps them around. He keeps them going, though.
No, he
Seems.
does not.
Until they don't.
I keep them going until he does not.
There you go.
Yeah, I was, I think, like a year in at American Eagle.
Really?
Because I hit 8 years this past September, which is also crazy. It's the longest job I've ever had.
It's funny the things that haven't changed when you mention that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, are you serious that you've been at the same job? Because I feel like the first few years I knew you, you were at like maybe 3 different jobs or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
And,
This is the longest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
I've been promoted twice, since I started.
So what is the longest job each person's ever had?
this one, American Eagle?
Okay. Everybody else.
Let's see. 7 years ago, I was a music teacher in McKeesport. Today, I'm a music teacher in McKeesport.
How long were you before?
This is my 25th year.
No.
At McKeesport.
Yeah.
As a teacher.
Yeah.
You
of
think
music.
McKeesport would be better off by now? Gosh, what are you doing?
Wow.
The place is run
Dude, that's
down.
wild.
25
dude.
years.
25
Dude,
years.
You're that
At the
old
same
guy.
job.
You are old
That, like,
man
you're the old
Davidson.
teacher that kids talk about. Like, he's been here for 25
yeah.
years.
I've had plenty of kids like, you taught my mom. Yes, I did, kid. Yes, I did.
You're like the Mr. Tinklestein of McKeesport or whatever it is.
Knickerbocker.
No.
I don't know.
Your guy up at
Old Tinklestein
Titusville.
Knickerbocker.
Oh, Mr. Inglecay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was pretty close. That was pretty close.
Tinklestein.
Ingle K is a real name.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
would ride around on his bicycle and talk to children.
No, moped.
I was making that part up. So I got really close.
Okay.
Oh, my
There's a lot of
gosh.
things clicking into place for me now.
Me, I was pastor at Faith Community Church. I was still coaching both volleyballs. I think I was on committee for Young Life, I think, by that point.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is it fair to say that this podcast started to take shape?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about longest tenure job. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Sorry, I was switching.
You were
Want me to
switching
wait?
from my misdirection. So that was a good
I
thing.
thought you were talking about how long you've been at jobs.
No, I was saying where I was then. But
Oh.
so I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead. You were saying, and then we'll get back to your point.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Longest job is what we were talking about.
right now. The one I've had is the longest I've ever been anywhere.
Really?
Yep. No, I'm sorry, Tyler.
I was going to say, I thought Tyler was
I
longer.
kind of blocked that out for a second. No, that was way longer. That was 10 years. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Delivered water for a little bit of time there.
My longest would be Young Life because I was there for 12 years. But this April will be 12 years at the church,
Oh, wow.
which is crazy.
That is
Except
crazy.
now I'm back with Young Life.
Right.
So in essence, the church can never catch up if I do both. But it doesn't count in a row or.
It's unknowable.
Chris, you had a good point.
Well, I was just going to ask, is it fair to say that, like, sort of the genesis of this podcast, it coincides at least partially with when you became pastor at Faith, and then like wasn't you guys, Eric and Brian, had sort of an idea for something, right?
For those of you not watching, that was awkward.
My fingers.
Yeah, you go, Eric and Brian. You
They've
guys
come
had your
together.
idea
This
for
is
something.
this is my symbol for coming together.
You can imagine Mr. Burns in the most awkward, like, excellent with your fingers.
Less masculine.
Well,
Yeah,
listen, and
right.
I'm remembering all this from the outside, but wasn't there some idea about fatherhood?
Oh,
That was-
we had, yeah.
That was more
had
Brian.
I had an idea about, just
Real man dad.
be a real man dad. Yeah. Let's talk about fatherhood. But the first time I remember this particular podcast taking shape, I think we were at the beach.
Yeah, we were at
and we
City.
started just talking about it. And after that, it was like, well, we should probably do that. And then we had the conversation down here over falafel.
Yeah. Well, and that was just you two, right? At the beach at that point, or was
No.
Jay was there?
Jay was there because I think it really was kind of your idea.
I don't think that was the podcast my idea.
I think I
The
said
concept of the podcast.
Oh, the concept
became-
would have been.
Yeah.
right. I thought I was like, we should do a podcast
Right.
about what yeah.
And to your point, it wasn't so much me being a pastor, but it was my time at the Center for Relational Care in 2008, which just changed everything about the way I minister and care for people. And then surviving the Trey years through that and realizing how valuable it was. And Brian, you were a big advocate, for it starting, saying, back when we used to still call it the cheat code. And that, hey, this is what people need to know. Business people need to know this, and marriages need to know this, and everybody else needs to know this. And I was like, do people really care? And you're like, no, they definitely need to care, and all that kind of fun stuff. So that was more accurate, if you will, impetus.
Yeah, I think that was the origin story.
Fun.
Yeah. So how have our marriages changed? How has this podcast enhanced our understanding of how we do life?
Well, I definitely.
It's two questions, but pick one.
I'm going with the marriage thing. Amy and I have greatly benefited from. Like, it's funny, Jay, you mentioned that this coming April will be 12 years that you're pastor at Faith Community Church. And this April will be 12 years ago that we started coming to Faith Community Church. And I have fond memories of, because you came on board at Faith and you had sort of like a little contingent of
Very little.
of
I had about 8
though.
people,
Yeah.
and we were joining 20
Right.
existing people.
But
Now we're up to 30.
We showed up during that time, and everybody was like, "Oh, thanks for coming. We were so glad that Jay's, you're one of Jay's people." I don't know what else to call
You're
them.
like, "Who's
Jay's
Jay?"
people? I know, yeah. And I was like, "Oh no, we're just here." I remember Pastor Vic specifically saying that, and I was like,
R.I.P.
"Oh no, we're just we're just here," and he's like, "Oh." Well, we're glad you're here too.
We've talked about this, but I remember Jane Mara.
Yeah.
She was like, the Davidsons are here. And I was like, who the crap are the Davidsons?
Yeah, we.
Now I know who the crap the Davidsons are.
It was Jane Mara, that said, "Oh, you have to come and hear Jay preach," and and we were church shopping. I don't really like that term, but I just used it anyway.
You were victims of a lot of church hurt.
Yeah, and so we're
Which is what our
searching.
church
We
is
were
filled
searching.
with.
And Jane knew that, and so she was like, "Hey, stop by Faith Community Church," and Jay's. I don't even know if this might have been the first time we were there. Might have been before you were like officially the pastor. It might have just been like one of those
When I was filling in.
Yeah.
And how's this changed your marriage?
Yeah, let's get back to that. So from that point on,
Lunchtime and faith.
Faith in Rome.
we started learning about emotional needs, and at various times, whether it was through your Learn to Love segments at church that came on pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And this is all before the pod, but like, sorry, I love this. This is like the story of the origin story, and
Story of the origin story.
like you would hold sessions with different spots. So one of them I remember in the gathering place at church. One was at a place that no
shan't be
longer
named.
exists. Yeah, of like sessions with couples and going through all this. So that learning process began, and then of course the podcast, and then I joined the podcast, and we're talking about it all the time. Amy and I end up going away to WinShape, which is the Georgia extension of Center for Relational Care. 2 years ago? Last year? Oh my gosh, it was only
It was last year.
about a year and a half
was
ago
there.
now, I guess. But yes. And so, oh my goodness, it's shaped so much for us. Like we have zero problems anymore.
Yeah, it's
Let's just
good.
put
Man,
that-
you graduated.
yeah, we're done. No, but the way you navigate through, like all the emotional stuff that's happening right now with her dad and whatever. Like I said, like it's just, it's hopefully when you really start applying, it's a different way to communicate and interact and find your way through.
And keep each other from being alone.
Yeah.
Boys.
I think like for us, I mean, we started doing the emotional needs thing before the podcast with
Oh, yeah.
Jay. And I think now like I mentioned it the other week, a few weeks ago, where Amy gave an example of how I can better serve her and meet her need with just like, because we were at, so I'll retell a story. We were getting ready for Maggie's softball game. We're at the car, and she's getting Maggie's cleats on, and I'm just standing there useless, or feeling useless. So I was like, I'll just take our chairs over to where we're going to sit and get them set up. Meanwhile, she would rather have me stay or say, hey, I'm going to go. But I didn't say anything because I just didn't feel like the need to, because that's just who I am.
Pretty obvious you were taking the chairs over.
Right. Exactly. To me, it was obvious. To her, it wasn't. Like,
Sure.
Just one minute I was there, the next minute I was gone. So, like, communicating things like that, I do feel like we're in a place right now. Like, we're due for a date night. We're due for, like, we've really been going just through life, and we haven't had some time to kind of just sit down.
Have a marriage
and,
check-in.
Yeah, right. And
We should do an episode on that.
Right,
2 years
we
ago.
need to do that. Yeah. But we need to get back into that because it is important, and I do miss it. So, but yeah, we've had a lot of emotional needs talk, and there's still things to work on and things to work through. And like, it's one of those things, like, it never stops, but it's definitely better than it was, and all that.
I don't know where my marriage would be today without having this to go through it with. Because we hit some pretty rough spots for the past couple years, or not the past couple years, but over the past 7 years, there were some rough patches for sure, to be completely transparent, and mostly me. And so this was one of the key pillars in keeping things together and keeping
Think
things
back. I know you love when people interrupt you, but think back to coming out of, like, now we're all, at least I know you and I are embarrassed that we took time off for COVID, to be obedient to the
Who took
quarantine
time? For what?
from the podcast.
Oh, we took like a week, right?
We took a couple.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but yeah.
I think it was the quote unquote required 2 weeks is what we took.
Oh, okay, I'm more impressed. But the point of the story is, if you remember, like, those are some dark days.
Those were very dark days.
Those first 2 weeks felt like
the caper.
a long
Caper
time.
The
happened.
Caper's one of the best stories ever told. My
Yeah.
point is, we always had each other in the midst of that real dark and chaos. And, and like we talked about dipping in and dipping out. And so I'm coming alongside you saying, yeah, this would, not only in your marriage, but in life, this has been pretty vital for us to have this consistency. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't overstate the importance of having this especially during those years, for sure.
Yeah.
It could have looked a lot different.
Yeah. For me, when this started in 2018, I'm 10 years into it, this process. But as far as our marriage goes, I just think in general, what it does is it gives you more ammunition and vocabulary. Ammunition sounds like a wrong word. To figure out when you've hurt your spouse, it's sort of a roadmap back, or to express your own hurts. It's that roadmap back, like, okay, wait, I don't feel good about this, but here's why do I not feel good? Or when your spouse says, hey, that didn't work, it's not just, well, and I think we've all gotten better at figuring out those things over those years and refined it and everything else. I would like to ask, what about the impact it's had on your family? So let's talk, the commitment to being here on Wednesday nights. That's a big deal.
Okay.
But also, I mean, Maggie hasn't been on, but every other member of our family,
Not Lil.
Yeah.
and not Lil, but every other member of our family has been on.
Right. Spouses and
No parents have been on. Mine won't. Should I say can't?
Yeah.
But what's the impact been on your family? Like, I remember the story, Ethan, the one day, like when you were disciplining him as a father, and he was like, I don't need your facts, logic, and reason, or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, daggone.
Yeah.
So what has the impact been on your families?
Well, I think first we acknowledge that every Wednesday for the past 7 years, more or less, we've been we've been doing this, you know, and it's not a ton of time that we're putting into it, but
More than everybody else, I would challenge.
more than, what do you mean?
He means just the pod specifically, though.
What?
Coming on Wednesday.
He's saying it isn't a huge time commitment.
Right, but I feel like us doing this 1 hour a week is more than anybody
Else is doing on
doing
emotional
it.
needs on
Right.
a regular
Okay.
basis.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's a little bit more than an hour, but you especially, I mean, you put way more into this than we do. Maybe not way more now, but you Eric, do. And so number one, there is the physical time commitment. There's the mental time commitment. I know, Jay, you know, you work hard every week to get the concept down and to write it out. For me, it has been, again, not just with my marriage, but with the kids, with the ability to talk to my parents about things. It has been like concentric circles. You know, my aunt, you know, it has expanded out. But yeah, I think it's been refreshing. And I don't know what our relationship with our kids would look like. The ability to talk to our kids, you know, our college age kid now and Abby, we have great conversations, and we can talk on a level that's much deeper and more empathetic and more understanding than I think a lot of you know, parent children are able to do. So I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, the impact for us, the positive impact has far outweighed any sort of time commitment. Yeah. I mean, the way our kids are able to communicate with us, like, just to start with that, like, it's like certainly nothing that we ever had as kids. And you know, like, I mean, it's just wild. And the way, like, that Ben and Lil treat each other is, like, so amazing. Like, the fact that they grew up with us emphasizing some of this, you know, and trying to do this stuff with each other, Amy and I, and with them, I just feel like they've inherited some of that, you know, through those growth years.
Well, they say that more is caught than taught, and they've gotten both, but they've gotten both.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
just
a good way of putting that.
It's just fantastic. Like the peace that exists between, like, all members of our family and the
way our
communication
families
and-
interact with each other as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, even, I mean, the most contentious might be Bella, you know, and Ethan as sort of big sister, little brother kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But even at that, there's a mutual admiration and care and, you know,
Understanding.
I think they all love and support each other very well.
Yeah.
And I mean, gosh, I mean, Maggie's everybody's little sister.
Yeah. Well, and, like, you know, it's helped us navigate tough conversations at times, but it's neat to watch Maggie at only 7, and, like, even earlier. I don't have a age on it, but, like, I can already tell what her emotional needs are.
6 months probably.
Yeah. And it's we're already, you know, winning at emotional needs in life, you know, knowing who she is and what her emotional needs are, because it's down the road when things get tougher, because, you know, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems, you know, it's going to be much better to navigate those waters, knowing all this stuff.
I'm so grateful. Like, the other day, and by that I mean a month ago, had a conversation with Bella. She'd had a very bad rehearsal for her play, and she kind of snapped to a degree at the producer, you know, DJ, as I like to call him, Dr. Johnson. And it really bothers her every time I say that, and I would never call him that. And she said, but I already emailed him, and she read for me what she had emailed him. And I said, okay. I said, you know, have I comforted you enough? And she goes, yeah. I said, okay, can I be your parent now? And she goes, yeah. I said, what you should have added was, I know that the way I acted did not show the respect that you deserve, did not show you respect, and you deserve more than that from me. And her response was great. She goes, "God, you're right."
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you've taught me how to apologize, and I missed that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I made it too much about me." And I said, "Well, yeah, but that's okay." And it was
Yeah.
just so cool to have that level
Yeah.
of a conversation with somebody who's still in the moment
Just to see her have that aha moment,
Right.
of like you're
Like,
right, and that is the right thing to do.
I didn't
yeah.
enter his world. I just kept,
Yeah.
that was such a
Yeah.
blessing.
But yeah, because she had that reference point. She had that
Vocabulary
to
and intelligence,
yeah.
emotional intelligence, if you will. So
What else?
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I was talking to Lex this afternoon, or this morning when we were eating. Doesn't matter when I was talking to her, but we were talking, and she was talking about the podcast tonight. And I think for me, there's a ton of takeaways, from the 7 years. But I think for me, one of the greatest, probably my greatest takeaway that I don't know if I'm most happy about it or whatever. It's the fact that it's 7 years of our lives documented. It's like a time capsule of our lives, like layers, like a sediment layer of our lives.
I was thinking the same thing the other day. It's so funny that you say that, because like I was thinking like it's out there forever.
Yeah.
Like it's on the internet forever. So like 300 years from now, when we're long gone, somebody could find it and revisit it, and like I think that's neat.
Yeah. Audio, video, like,
Right.
we pass on, and, the kids are going to be able to watch us
Yeah.
and listen to us.
Right.
It's
And take our voices and put them in whatever AI engine they want to and recreate whatever they want.
Yep. Dad's not really dead.
That's fantastic.
One thing that to the general, like how has it changed my life, is a lot of it.
I thought you meant Bob.
The general.
Oh, the general. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, but it's helped me a lot at like work, in my relationships at work. I have had really great feedback from coworkers saying, like, how I know it's cliche, but like how I've met them, emotionally, even though they don't use those words, but that's what it is.
Sure. That absolutely for me too. I will say, just those interactions with I teach in elementary school, you may have heard. And so obviously with a bunch of teachers, and some conversations are positive, some conversations, teachers stressed or this or what. I just feel so much more prepared and confident and like going into a conversation. Not that I am meeting their deepest emotional needs, but I am meeting those conversational, surface level, like
You're joining them in their current emotions.
Yes,
Right.
I'm joining them in that current moment in their emotions.
And there's moments like Jay talks about, like when you're not looking for, but when you get the reaction of like, yes, that is how, like that's like so rewarding.
It really is. It's a
Yeah.
big bonus.
Yeah, because in your head you're like, okay, that was awesome, and like don't say anything else. Let them keep talking.
High need of acceptance, guy.
Yeah, that was a win. Yeah, it was good.
One thing for me in general, because this is my life. I watched a video of Nick Saban talk about how you have to strive. He was a former football coach for Alabama and LSU, and he was saying how you have to strive for perfection and this and that and the other thing. And I was like, man, I wish I was that passionate about anything.
Anything.
And then I went, no, I am about emotional responding. Like I think about it all the time. Any interaction I have, I'm like, I missed it. I did that. And so over these 7 years, and having to come up with topics each week and find, I've said being a pastor is saying the same thing over and over again, but disguising it so that people don't realize you're doing it with the hopes that they might eventually get it. Well, to a degree, that's what this table has been.
Yeah.
Is how can we repackage the same stuff over and over again while still entertaining people wanting to come back so that they might continue to learn and get it. In this time period, I would say because of the podcast and also my passion, I have gotten, and this is sort of looking backwards, but also looking forward. I think I'm almost ninja level at being able to understand what people's emotional needs are, where their hurts are, how they're acting out of them. I'm involved right now with a nonprofit, Not Young Life, where there's drama going on between about 5 different people. And the blessing is I ain't one of the 5. And I'm on the outside looking in, but another person is in the middle of it trying to navigate both sides of the drama. And they're going insane
Yeah.
because they can't make heads or tails of any of it. And I said to them, here's what's wrong. This person is this hurt, and so they're viewing it this way. These two people are oblivious to the hurt, but are hurting based on, and I just went down this list.
Yeah.
And so I'm very blessed by being able to diagnose and figure out and understand. The person in the middle said to me, well, how do we get them to understand what you just said? And I went, I don't know that they're capable. They said, what good is that information? I said, I have no idea. And so that's sort of my...
That's kind of the beauty of it, though, because like you have no idea right now, but then like there's probably going to be a moment that's going to present itself.
You know what they should do?
Listen to this
Go
podcast.
to this podcast.
we should have them
from
on.
episode 2.
Starting,
Don't listen to episode
yeah,
one.
not one.
Two's probably not even that much
Maybe
better.
about 6, 7.
I don't even know.
56.
But I would say, looking backwards, I think we're very grateful for the people who sit at the table and the people that we have had interaction with live. And
The guests.
shout out to Josh.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to Phyllis.
Josh Hughes.
yeah.
They used to always announce their arrival back in the Facebook days. But I think we all would be honest to say we kind of hoped it would have been more by 300 episodes.
True.
And I think both in the Learn to Love It Church and in the podcast, I think the opportunity for growth is how do we make it apply to more people? The people that join us, the people that are with us, they've caught on and they're learning and they're growing. But I think I teach it from such an academic standpoint, which is so weird. Like, oh, here's an emotional need and this and that, not from a need. Like if you don't care about emotional needs, you don't get excited about this podcast. Time at the table. You know, to make it more dynamic or more palatable to the business guy. He's not going to listen to this. He's not bought in to listen to 7 episodes to get caught up to speed. And we toyed with it, but I think that's the thing is how do we get it to more people and make it more palatable and more enticing is the challenge I've always faced. Even at church, like I said, with Learn to Love, you know, that's why we reverse engineered like the love languages or something. And I tried to,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, I'm just going to teach you what it is. If you learn, you learn. If you don't, that's fine. So that's just sort of my assessment of where we've been, but also where I would hope that we would go.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
I like it.
That's good. Thanks for joining me in that one, Chris.
No,
That was good.
I'm actually really excited of like where it's going because there's we need to have another sit down.
We should have a meeting.
For those of you who don't know, there has been
We missed our last annual.
we there's been times where we sit down, we talk about the podcast and where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want to change, and I've got some ideas that are rolling around in my head, and it's probably about time that we do that again.
And at the new year, we did just go over very in depth of all the people who sat at the table with us. Brian, I interrupted you when you were saying that we've had some amazing people sit at the table with us. So that's we're not ignoring that here. We just kind of just did that in it wasn't January. When was it? Because we're in October. But we recently revisited all of the guests. So
We did.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't point out something that somebody has said to me that they miss.
That they miss about the podcast.
Do better.
Florida. The Florida man.
Dateline,
Florida.
Oh,
Central Valley, California, USA.
Oh.
Just today, a California Highway Patrol officer stopped a vehicle found to be driving with a fake license plate that had been hand-drawn.
They'll never notice.
do better.
We will give this driver points for creativity, officials wrote. The driver told police that they had lost the original plate. While we appreciate the effort to stay compliant, after losing the original plate, California law requires vehicles to display state-issued plates only.
That implies that the actual license plate number was
The same one.
was registered. Like they actually,
They knew what their license plate was. So
Yes.
They just drew another one.
Yep. Well, maybe
Hey.
that's almost can't do better.
That's great.
It could be a can't do better.
I mean, right. I mean, he could have not put it back on.
And it was close enough that they were like, wait, no. Now, wait a minute. So he had some artistic talent with that.
That's
I do.
funny.
I have to admit, I missed that portion as well.
Well, and one thing I would like to get back to is, and it kind of goes along with what you were saying, Jay, is like more real life examples and us dissecting it, like, you know, and some being over the top.
Sure.
Or, you know, others being pulled from like Reddit. You know, we did that one episode.
Am I
which
wrong?
Which I thought was really good. So, but yeah.
Well, I also have a can't do better. You guys know Trixie.
Yes. She sat at the table.
What's her husband's name again? Trixie and not
is-
Elroy. Leon. No.
No, what's her fake husband's name?
He's a real husband. Just a fake
Yeah.
Right.
What's her
What's her real
husband's
husband's
fake
fake
name?
name?
Isn't
Yeah.
it Leon?
It could be Leon. No.
No.
Anyhow. So they're I'm going to go with the real names.
That's gonna bug me.
Their daughter, Colleen,
Yeah.
is now assistant swim coach at the junior high. Well, their other daughter, Adriana, is a swimmer on that team. So the one daughter's coaching the other daughter. And they get into it in the kitchen one night. And Colleen's telling Adriana how she needs to step up as a leader. And Adriana's telling her, no, that's your job as a coach. And Colleen counters once again. And then finally Adriana says, well, you know what? To me, that sounds like an issue, not an ish me.
An issue.
You can't do better than I'm
that's
54
pretty
years
good.
old.
Yeah, it's
I've been
pretty
around
good.
my whole life.
I've
and
never
she
heard of
drops,
that. I never heard
sounds
that.
like an issue,
Yeah.
not an ish
I
me.
like that. I'm going to use that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's how we're going to wrap up episode 300. Join us in 56 weeks for my 300th episode. Between now and then, you can join
We'll
us
see.
next Wednesday live at 8:30ish for episode 301. Please give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
See you next week.
This is Sparta.
Malcolm, Trixie, and Malcolm. Bye.